the war. I worked I had big corporate jobs. I worked for Revlon for 6 years, and I had 30 countries. I went to Thailand, I went to Philippines, I went to Iloilo, Bacolod, Cebu. I went to all the little towns in the Philippines. And I went to Bangkok, Thailand. I went up to Chiang Mai. I went all over Thailand, Australia, New Zealand. I went all over. And I sold shampoo. My model was Farrah Fawcett. That was my model for television. And then I introduced Kit Kat candy in the United States when I worked for Philip Morris. So I learned a lot about marketing. My specialty in school was marketing. And so I was very fortunate to learn marketing and finance, because those are the most important things. You have to know about money, and you have to know how to sell your product. So you're very privileged. And see, you're up here, so there's very little room for you to go much higher. I was down here, so I had a long path to climb. That's why I work hard. I took care of myself. I watch my weight. I don't smoke. I do have wine. I take care of my body. I'm just now 83 years old. I just celebrated my birthday last January 13. And I'm in top shape. I don't see my doctor for every 6 months. But I always felt that I was going to be happy. And you know, success is not important. A lot of people are successful, but happiness is very important. To be inside and to be happy with God, to be happy with your life. And you're here for a certain amount of time. So you have to decide, am I going to be happy, successful? Am I going to make a contribution? Am I going to help others? That's why when Monsignor asked me to help, I love to help. I especially love to help young kids. I have 13 nephews, and I teach them about business. One of them owns 6 restaurants, so very successful. But they started very low and graduate, you know, up. And you learn. You make mistakes, you learn. You make mistakes, learn. Make mistakes, learn. So he could, I don't have any idea what he wants to be. What does your husband do?
He works at UN.
Oh, in UN, United Nations. And what, as a representative of a country?
Yes.
Of a country? Which one?
It's
Malaysia?
Malaysia.
Oh, Malaysia. Okay, good. So do you want to be a diplomat, or do you want to be a businessman? Do you know?
I'm still figuring it out.
Good. That's good. Keep thinking, because you don't know your potential. So my advice is try many things. And if you're very good at something, you'll find that you'll never have to work in your life. If you're passionate about something, you don't have to work, because it's fun. If you can find fun in life and make $1 and have a good life, that's the goal. That's the goal.
That's the thing that I always tell her. I said, it's okay, whatever you wanna do, but you make sure you happy. You must be happy. You must like it. And then it's okay, whatever you like.
Yes.
You go for it.
Yes, go for it. It's called passion. Yeah, like a musician is very happy. They don't care about many things except they like to get lost.
I don't want to force him to do things that maybe I like it, but then I don't think he will, you know.
Yeah,
so I don't want to force him.
Before, the doctor would say, I want my son to be a doctor, and force him.
Yeah.
And that's no good, because now they find out that being a doctor is not so easy anymore. You're on the call all the time, everything. But if he wants to be a diplomat or any kind of a representative of a country or politician, whatever he feels that he wants to be, he has to be good at it, and he has to feel happy about it. That's very good goals.
Yeah.
So I personally think you're advising him well. Yeah. And you know, life is not easy.
Now listen, this is see. I always tell you the same thing. See, and then you listen.
Yeah, life is very challenging. God puts you here, and He gives you the devil, and He gives you your flesh, and so you're very attracted with your eyes to things that are not nice. The world is not a nice place. The world can make you sin. The world can make you get in trouble. The world can make you drink. The world can make you go on drugs. The world is a challenge. So you have to have good parents and a good spiritual goal or life, and say, I want to be good. I want to be a good person. I want people to like me. I want to like people, and I want to love people. I want people to love me. And so if I get in trouble, I have to get out of it. But I shouldn't get in trouble in the first place. I should be very careful who I associate with, who I marry, if you're going to get married, who I date. Do they have the same ideas about life? Do they have the same goals? And it's very hard to ask a person when they're 17 or 18, what do you want out of life? It's very hard. Your mother, even today, your mother can say, I'm not sure, I want this, I want that, I'm not sure I made the right decision, because you're always questioning they always say the grass is greener on the other side. So you got to be very careful to try to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, and it takes a long time to understand yourself, you learn, you think, here's what happens. When you're 19 or 20, you think you know everything. Then you find out when you're about 28 or 29, you come back to your parents and say, thank you, because I knew nothing. Now I'm older, I know everything, and I thank you for disciplining me, for keeping me honest, for keeping me straight, and for teaching me wisdom, for making me smart and intelligent. Thank you. And that's when you come back to your parents and you love your parents. But when you're a teenager, your parents tell you to do this, you say, oh no, I'm doing it this way. I'm going with my buddies, I'm going with my girl, I'm going with my friends. So you have to listen to your parents. Doesn't mean you can't take chances, but you got to be very careful. Your parents are smart. Your parents know a lot more than you do. They will always know a lot more than you do until you become old and aged, and then you will then get smart. There's a difference between being intelligent and being having wisdom or being wise. When you get older, you get wise. When you're young, you're educated, you're intelligent, you're smart, you're competitive. When you get older, you're more mature, you have wisdom, you have a better understanding of what's going on in the world, what's going on around you, what's going on with your family. It takes time. You cannot accelerate the curve. You can't grow faster than life gives you. But life is very challenging, and you don't know what you're going to be. You don't know and you don't know if you're going to be successful. There were a lot of my classmates that went to Wall Street. They made a lot of money, and then they shot themselves because they got into trouble. Either money troubles or trouble with their family or with their drinking or with drugs, and they passed away when they were 60 or 70 years old. I'm fortunate to be my age because I've tried to be smart about my life. God gives you a soul, God gives you one life, and it's a pilgrimage through life. It's a journey through life. And you don't know what that journey brings. You don't know if you're going here, you don't know if you're going to travel all over the world. You have no idea, because that will come. So the main thing to do is apply yourself. Opportunity comes to you, but you have to be ready for it. You cannot find opportunity. Opportunity comes to you, but if you're ready for it, you can take advantage of it. And that's the most important thing that happens, is you always have opportunities come, and you have to recognize it and take a chance. life always takes, you always have to take risks. Like if you have two girlfriends, you have to decide which one I like best, which one I'm going to go with. Is this one more compatible? And it's very hard to pick because you don't know. You don't know that person until you live with that person. I can tell you that. The other thing about these things, I don't want to give you too much, but people get married and they say, I'm going to change that person because that person has bad habits. Forget about it. People do not change. It's very, very hard to, I think you agree with that. Whatever you marry and whoever you are, you have to accept their weaknesses and their shortcomings, but you have to accept the good things from them, and they have to accept the good things from you. No marriage, no life is easy. It's not simple. It's not, I love, 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 oh, love. No, it's not that way. It's every day you have to apply yourself. You have to work hard. You have to think about yourself. You have to think about your wife. You have to think about God. And my whole thing, you're too young for this, but my whole thing is life is a pie. So you give so much for work, so much for leisure, so much for spiritual, so much for family. And it changes. When you're 10 years old, the pie is now education. Very little time for others, very little, you don't have a family. So the shape of your pie is educate yourself. It's a big piece of the pie. Then as things change, and you have fun, you have leisure time. You play games, you do this and that, so you have a piece of the pie for that, because that gives you a balance in life. Then as you get older, work becomes less important, leisure time is important, spiritual time is important, and family time is important. Does he have any brothers or sisters? No. He's all by himself? Yeah, so even more so, you really have to pick your friends and pick your people that you associate with. And if you don't like them, step away from them. If they give you some bad ideas, stay away from them. Your parents are right. You listen to your parents.
See, that's what I always.
I think he's a good boy.
Same thing.
I think
same thing. That's why I keep on telling you the same thing. See, now you heard from the
experienced person.
And then now you understand why Mama keep on telling you the same thing again and again and again and again.
See
because
what
that's
happens.
the truth.
What happens? Does he like to be called Edward or Eddie? Edward.
It's okay.
Edward. What happens is you're not busy. So you have all the time in the world. So it's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get pulled in the wrong directions by people, by things, because you're not busy. You think you're busy, but you're only educating yourself. But you're not earning a living. You're living with your mother, father. You have a very good life. So you have very little competition, very little. You have a very free life. Don't let things get hold of you. Don't let the devils grab you. Don't let bad things grab you. Try to fight. You have to fight all the evil things that are going on, whether it's the world, the religion, the politics, or whatever. Your teacher, sometimes you like a teacher, sometimes you don't like a teacher. You have to have patience. You have to live with it, because all teachers are not good. All doctors are not good. All lawyers are not good. Everybody has a degree of competence. They're good in certain ways. Everybody has some things that are not quite right with them. Sometimes you feel like your parents are unreasonable. It's possible. They're unreasonable sometimes, but sometimes, most of the time, they're right. And what they're telling you, you will be grateful someday to your mother and your father. And say, thank you for good education. Thank you for living on 58th Street in New York. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So, what else can I say?